what we talk about as a program is you can't talk about winning the SWAC West, winning the SWAC without winning game one, because it's a unique situation throughout the country where at one point we were the only two teams playing in a conference game to start the season. There's a couple of more now, but you talking about how you gonna start in your division and in your conference and being a rival. So short term, we do need to win game one. But also short term, we expect to compete at a high level, be more prepared, be more disciplined, be more ready for football games than what we might have been before. And that's not taking a slight at anybody. That's just doing things the way that we do them now. And so I'm looking for small victories leading up to the first game. I'm looking for us to make sure we got our shoes tied up in our workout. I'm looking for us to make sure we're not wearing slides all over the place when we come in the weight room. I'm looking for us to make sure that we don't have on jewelry and earrings and hats in the building. Like those are things that we don't allow to slide. And some people might say we old school, but that's just how we do it. That's not how that man is or how he wants it. That's how we do it. And so if we can't give them to give up those things, how are we going to get them to run a route? How are we going to get them to play the right coverage? And so there's some things that I'm looking for as the head coach that are what we call small victories leading up to game one. Now, when you flip to long term, we expect to be 10-game winners year in and year out and compete and win the Celebration Bowl as we win the SWAC West and as we win the SWAC championship. That's what we expect to be. We feel like we're going to build ourselves to the resources that it takes to do that. We feel like we're going to recruit and prepare our guys at the level that it takes to do that. And we think even with this new house settlement coming down, that Prairie View A&M is going to remain competitive in that manner when it comes to playing FCS college football. That's what we believe. And so we got to make sure now. Let me say this before you go, Mr. Campbell, because our alumni need to understand something. It costs to win. And so
let me turn
I
that
just
up.
laid out short term and long term. I need people to match me on their short term for the alumni. I expect them to donate $35 starting tomorrow. We're about to launch a campaign.
Coach, this is my side of the show, Coach. See, Coach,
where's that link at, Coach? Where can I find that link at?
We'll put it out on. So I can't put it out till tomorrow, but we got a fundraiser that starts tomorrow. We're trying to raise $350,000 before our first game, and it starts with just everybody giving $35. Give us $35, and let's see how many $35. Now, if the good Lord leads your heart to give us $35,000, we'll take that too.
We'll take it all.
We'll take that too. But you cannot have an expectation of me and you be expectation free. And for a long time, the Alabamas, the Texases, the Oklahomas, they are those people because they are alums refuse to watch them be anything else. And so I need the alumni to make a decision. What are you willing to pay for? What do you want to watch? And then you can hold me as accountable as you want to, but you can't hold me accountable behind the keyboard and you ain't even got a ticket. You watching the game on ESPN stream, but I'm a bad coach. You're a bad fan. And so we got to make sure that we're holding each other to the same accountability. And I tell everybody in our alumni, man, we got to come on with it. We can't just beat people off of our academics and the fact that the heel is jumping. We got to come on with it. And it costs to come on with it. And so that's the expectations that we got.
Mr. Campbell,
real quick, let me slide these in, and Campbell, you can go right back. One of your alumni, call you TJ, known from the Houston North Side. He said the 44 is with you 200%. Then, of course, I
200,000 from the 44.
Then I talked to my homegirl. She getting her group and go invite you down to her 5-bedroom house out in Sienna Plantation with a group of folks. So, they coming in as you talk, Coach. So
that's it.
Now, Coach, I had to change my background now because you talking about now. See, that's a check right there behind me, Coach. That's getting donate. See, Coach, that's $80,000 check right there, Coach. So, see, I'm going to challenge these PV people because I told them the only way you went. See, you remember we were national champions over here at Florida A&M, Coach, and that's how you win that because you cut them checks like that. So I'm going to tell all my PV people. See, I don't want to hear all this talking about I want to win. The only way you're going to win is if you do this what I did in the background. So I want all my nephew line. I want you to get your classmates and get that crew together. And I need to see that check for the coach. Now, coach, I want to go to the next thing because recruiting is so important. You're in Texas, you're in a hotbed. But and shout out to my nephew Blue on the Blue Bloods. I saw your interview there. But I want to talk about your recruiting philosophy. I thought very interesting. There's 2 parts I want to talk about. How you're going to work the portal between getting guys that are already in the portal versus high school, and also how long they're going to only be on campus, coach, and what they're actually going to do. Why don't you tell us about, hey, you're letting them know you're not here to do a song and dance presentation. You're here to present them to be a football player in Prairie View, and also your mix and what you're looking for to be a Prairie View Panther.
Yeah, so we talk about recruiting the portal a lot, right? Because at some point in today's game, you're going to go to that portal. You're going to go early when you're new and you can control it and develop and get your program together, or you going to go when you're in the last year of your contract and you just trying to figure out something to make it last. We choose to go early. We choose to start with the portal and make sure we get guys that are ready to go. I missed the first signing day because we were playing. So there's some good players left, but it's kind of like going to the rack at Nordstrom's, right? Like before Christmas, it's probably going to be a little picked over, and you might not get the best shoe. But when you come back the next year, you know when to go shop. And so we're going to get in that portal. We make no qualms about it. If you know me, you know I've always been a 21 and up guy. And but we have some 18-year-olds who put X's on back of their hand to get into this club called Prairie View A&M. And so we recruit both. We do think your high school depth can help you later on down the line as you develop it. But you got to be careful with high school players because you can put all this money into them and develop them, and then they leave on you. And that's just the game that we play, right? When I was at the other place, my third best receiver ended up going to a group of 5 and being their best receiver. Now, tell me how that works. How you go from Division II to the FBS, you won him all conference in Division II, and you're the best receiver in their school history in 1 year. And so we put a lot of time in that guy. We developed that guy. But at the end of the day, he had an opportunity he couldn't pass up. So we manage how we do that. When you talk about recruiting visits, when you come to Prairie View A&M, and Coach Cole remember this, we used to bring them in on Friday midday, wine them and dine them all night. All night. I mean, within the rules, but wine them. I mean, took them to some fabulous restaurant. We go to the Grand Lux. I mean, we were at a place that had all of that. So sometimes we would argue over what fine dining we were going to take them to. Hey, man, let's take them to Papado. No, man, I ate fish last week. Let's take them to Fogo de Chao. We just had options. We do that Friday. We put them on campus Saturday. We wine them and dine them again Saturday night. Then we get them up and wine them and dine them for a brunch on Sunday and then get them out of there. 48 hours of just straight whining and dining. Man, when you come to Prairie View A&M, we bring you in on a Friday afternoon, take you to Topgolf, stay there for about 2.5 hours, send you home to the hotel to go get you some rest, bring you over the next day, show you how we're going to get you better as a man, as a person, as a student, as a football player, and we get you out of there before 5 o'clock. It's less than 24 hours in some times. Well, people say, why do you do that? We do it because nowadays, a lot of these parents can't handle the whining and dining. Everybody always talk about the kid. A lot of parents can't handle the whining and the dining, and then that kid comes back and you start coaching that kid, and he go, man, that's not the same guy from recruiting. And they call it de-recruiting. I ain't got time to de-recruit you. Here's what it is. We bring you in, we show you this, we go through our blueprint. You either want us or not. If you don't want us, that's fine. Somebody does. And you'll watch us hold up this trophy if you don't want us. But what we found is if we put it straight to kids, if we tell them what it is, Parents that still parent appreciate that. Parents that give out iPads so their kids can leave them alone, they might not appreciate that. And so you got to find the right people. Here's the other reason. If you're not a straightforward type of kid, you won't make it here. You won't make it in the program because we work straightforward. We get you on that line early in the morning and it's coming and you can't run from it. And if you do, you got to go find compliance and get in the portal. This is tough, but it's tough to win. And so, man, we choose to do things our way, and it's worked for us everywhere we've been.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, I love that coaching talk, Coach. Yeah. I heard a coach the other day say, "You got to choose your heart," and again, I'm not talking about nothing freaky. When he say you got to choose your heart, what he means is it's either the hard work, like you say, in the early mornings, the working out, the doing what you're supposed to do, the being on time, all that, or you choose that hard in the fall, watching them scores on the opponents go up and yours be down. You got to choose your heart. And so I like that, Coach. So, but this is what I want to say, Coach. What can be done? Because one of the problems I have as a Prairie View parent is that the alumni is a tremendous alumni. The reason why my daughter goes to Prairie View is because of the success of some of my friends and classmates and people that I grew up with, the success they've had by being Prairie View graduates, right? However, they're very apathetic about coming back on campus other than homecoming to experience a game. What can be done to improve that situation? Because I think if you're going to be a winner, you got to have butts and seats. You got to create an environment that's about winning. And after going through the SWAC a little bit, going to FAMU, and also experiencing Southern and even Alabama State on a spring game, that environment at Prairie View leaves something to be desired. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Two things. We've got to do a better job as a program of really going out to the people, doing more community service events, really getting our team out in front of people. So people support people that they believe in, man. Like nobody, how dare we ask somebody to buy a ticket to watch us play and we've done nothing for them? How dare we do that? Like who are we to do that? And I tell our team that all the time. Also, the second thing is, how dare we ask somebody to come watch us and we put a lukewarm, mediocre product out there? Can't do it. And man, this is what it is. Like, we need to help people and we need to play hard. And that way, when people come, whether we win or lose, when people come, they can say, man, look, they didn't win, but I'm telling you, them boys play hard. Or there's something different about these guys. I'm going to go back next week and support. Because right now, from what I've seen on tape, we only come when the teams that we want to see play come. If we're playing Susie Lou State, nobody going to come. But boy, let Southern get there. Because we know Southern going to show up. So we don't want our school, because the Prairie View alumni, they got a lot of pride in Prairie View A&M. Lots of pride. And we don't want to be outdone. But man, we gotta do something to go help them. We're calling around now to do community service projects, and our kids are gonna go out and be out. And we're not like putting that stuff on social media, because we don't do it for that. We do it because it's better to give than to receive. But certainly, how dare we do anything, not do anything, and want somebody to come support us? But here's what I believe. Boy, when we come off that hill game one, they gonna come game two. Yeah. When we come off that hill game one, and they hear that they'll be there game two. That's what I really believe, and we getting ready to do that right now, man. And so it's gonna be trouble when we come off that hill, and then the word will get out. You know, like I know, when the word get out, people gonna come see.
Coach, you're speaking to some alumni right now. And for some reason, of course, they know our connection, but I get it, and as I fight, you one of my favorite, man. And what do you tell them, Coach? What and I want you to once you get off they've been told, what do you need from them, Coach? What do you need from them, Coach?
We need time and money. It's really just that simple. We need time from people that are successful, that have been through our school. We need you to come back and talk to our players about how to be successful as a Prairie View A&M graduate. Again, not as a Black college graduate, as a Prairie View A&M graduate. How did you navigate this world? How did you get to the level that you own, of success that you have, so that others behind you can follow in those footsteps? And maybe, just maybe, you meet one of our kids that are qualified that you want to reach back, grab, and pull up to. So we need that. We need time. Give us your time. And then, man, we need money. We got 105 guys. It costs. And listen, it's been a tariff on football. There's been people talking about tariffs and all that. It's been a tariff on football. It costs what it costs. Hotels go up every year. Buses go up. You can't even get a bus quote right now because everybody waiting to see what everybody else doing so they can tax everybody. And so it costs. Players are being paid. There's collectors being formed. It costs everywhere. Coaches being paid. Yeah, it is what it is.
Hey, Coach, I want to say something about that, because I got a little friend of mine. You know what I mean? Her mama's class of 1959, Prairie View. So her mom been giving money since 1959. But one of the advice I would give you, Coach, and I hear this from a lot of alums, they want to give money, but they think it's just going in a pot. So are you going to be one of those coaches that say, hey, I need money for A, B, C, D. It costs $15,000 for this, $30,000 for that. Because our coach, what I have found, and I'll talk about this from Florida A&M standpoint, when a coach says we need exactly that amount and that target, we kill it. When they just say, hey, we just need money, it never comes. So do you think that might be more of a tactic? And I'm just saying this as somebody who's helped fundraise, that maybe you go to these people because you got some successful folks at Prairie View. Absolutely. But them folks is accountants down there. They got hey man, them folks are smart. So we've heard so many times, and Coach, and you know this. You talked about the Black college thing. There are stereotypes that come with that I see that you're ready to break. But I think one of those things, the way you break it, Coach, is that you just call it straight and say, you want us to be a championship team? We need a training table. That costs $40,000. So which one of you guys are going to stand up and start this $40,000 campaign for this? So those are things that, do you think that's something, is that your style? I mean, again, is that your style?
Absolutely.
Direct like that?
Absolutely. Mr. Campbell, here's what we're doing right now. You talk about the first 30 days, then there's another 90 days where you start learning things about the university, right? And how the university operates and works. So like everybody goes, what do you need? Man, give me a little time, because when I tell you what I need, I'm going to be very specific with it. Let me address that black hole comment, where that money goes in that black hole, right? If you address that money to football and you tell me that you address that money to football, football going to get that money, because that's how our athletic director works. So I can't speak for nobody else's AD, but when football is addressed to football, and we're going to get the money and nobody else. And I don't want to cut nobody, but when it's just football, we're going to get that money. But we do have things that are itemized. We do. I need $17,000 to get Catapult, the film service.
You hear him?
I need $17,000 to do that. I do need $38,000 to get a training table. And so here's what we need. We need to get the $350,000, and we need to get there quick. There's a $300,000 shortfall right now. And it's nobody's fault, but it's just what's coming with this new NCAA. And so we need that. We need, when we launch this fundraiser tomorrow, we need that's the first thing we need is $350. And then we need the $350 the next year too. Because here's the deal about fundraising that people don't want to talk about. Just because you raise it in 1 year, the kids just gonna eat one time? They just gonna eat for that season? What about 26? They gotta eat in 27. And so we need to raise that consistently over time. Every year, we need the same 350. And let me tell you how I know it's doable. At the last place I was at, I was responsible for raising $300,000 a year. The program didn't operate if we didn't raise $300,000 a year. And I'm talking about that wasn't for anything special. That was for gas on the bus. Wheels on the bus, the oil change, $300,000.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah.
You know, when you start talking about raising money, fundraising, whatever, that's where to me, that's where support and is really the line is really drawn, right? Mm-hmm. And I like to hear the way that you talk about fundraising and things like that. As a head coach, how much responsibility as an HBCU is fundraising? Because I think a lot of these coaching hires are being made in hopes that these hires will generate funds. But as a businessman and looking at the I guess the org chart, fundraising should not necessarily be in the coach's purview per se. But I see you have engaged the responsibility of fundraising, and you've taken it on. Looks like somewhat of a challenge. Should that be the case in every situation?
I just think that he's bringing it out that this is the plan, and he has to help sell the plan, not necessarily that it's his. Damn, I'm asking for you, Coach.
Well, no, I'm not the lead fundraiser.
Go ahead.
We got a development team. Our AD handles a lot of that in the place of me. But I will say this: as the head football coach and being the largest sport coach, there's an obligation that I have when I put on this PVA&M that says fundraising is a part of the deal, and I have an obligation to my team to make sure that we're providing the very best experience so that they can be our next boosters. And so I do take on some of it personally because I do think, man, I was walking around in Target earlier with this shirt on. Fundraising is simply branding. I see the brand. You see this PVA&M, you know I'm big. I got to do something. No matter what you think I might do, I do something. And so if I can strike up a conversation with somebody, man, you never know who you're striking up that conversation with and what they can do for your program, alum or not. And so I do think some of it just comes with the territory. And you can do one or two things as a coach. You can run from it or complain about it, or you can embrace it. You can embrace it and say, man, we're fixing to get this done. And the alums that I've talked to, the alums that hit me up on Instagram and all of that, they want to do it. Sometimes the alumni base just doesn't know how to do it. And so I think we got a unique ability and an opportunity, man, to really take this bull by the horns and get what we need. And I think AD Golf and I are on the same page with that.
Yeah. Hey, kind of take us through spring from now to the spring game. Have you you got the date of the spring game, or take us through. Do you do
April 17th? I got it, Coach.
And Coach, why is that game on a Thursday too? Because as you answer that question, because I'm really curious about that too.
Yeah, it's the Thursday before Good Friday. It gives people something to do, to come out on the hill on the Thursday, maybe relive your college days, and you ain't got to go to work the next day, most people. But it also gives us an opportunity as a staff. I don't believe in practicing on Saturdays in the spring. I believe that coaches who have families should spend time with their families in the spring on the weekend. Because every Saturday in the fall, from August to December, is taken. And so in my experience, if you want to burn a coach out and not get the very best out of him in the fall, make him work year round on Saturdays and his family don't see him. Man, I learned that a long time ago. And so we practice every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. But to answer your question, Coach, we've got these dog trainers that we're in every Tuesday and Thursday. We'll do that up until spring break. They're working out 3 times a week. Other than that, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they got a little session that they can volunteer on their own on Saturday and go in. It's really just a team bonding session that all of them have decided that they wanted to do. No coaches are even there besides the strength coach. So they'll do that for a while. We got to get strong. We got to get strong. We got to be in better shape. March 17, when we come back from spring break, we'll start spring ball that Tuesday, man, on the 18th, and we'll get going. And we'll go every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. There is one Saturday, April 5th, that we're going to practice on that Saturday, and we do a kids day. We call it Panther Kids Day, where it's elementary school kids. Our players coach the camp. We put them through stations. But again, it's an opportunity for us to give back what was given to us. A lot of kids in Waller County, a lot of kids in Cy-Fair. It's a free camp. We don't charge anything. All the parent has to do is sign them up and bring them over. And it's about an hour and a half. It's nothing major. But we think that's really important for our community to give back to younger people a football camp. And once we get done with spring ball, you know, we live in the age of the transfer portal, and evaluations and decisions have to be made on our roster. We think that you know, everybody talks about this house settlement. There's going to be some decisions that have to be made on walk-on players and how we go about that. No more can you have 130 guys on your roster. And so we got to make some tough decisions. And then we got to get out and spring recruit the month of May and go to these high school jamborees and scrimmages and really try to stake our claim in this class of 2026, since now we'll have a full cycle.
Yeah. Coach, explain that. You said house settlement?
Yeah, so the NCAA was sued by a couple of guys, and so there's a settlement that is happening where there's going to be roster limits. There's going to be, like now, Coach, it could be where a team could have up to 105 scholarships instead of 63 to get to 85.
Right.
Or, you know, you can opt in or opt out. And there's just a lot of information that's going to be coming out in the next couple of months that'll tell us where we stand. Right now, we're operating in the dark a little bit. And people in the FCS are trying not to deal with it, right? We think it's a Power 5 issue. Right. It's a Division I issue. And the more you're educated on it, the better you're going to come out of it, in my opinion. But we got to be ready for it. And that's supposed to happen in April, right around the time of our spring game, or maybe a little bit later. But I think you're going to see a brand new NCAA. And so people are going to have scholarship raises or scholarship, you know, scholarships are going to lessen in other sports. Anything can happen because, as we know, if you say you're going to sue, somebody changed the rule. And so anything can happen. We just got to be ready for it.
Hey, Coach, let me read off what Coach Jackson. I want to give the information what you're talking about, because this is what we like to do in the show. So I'm going to kind of piggyback off what Coach is saying. FCS schools that opt in the house settlement can go above the 63 scholarship limit. It won't impact playoff eligibility. However, an FCS conference can set a cap on the number of football scholarships. Even in the Big Sky, for example, set the cap at 63. A team that opts in can spread their 63 scholarships over 105 players instead of the current 63 scholarships spread over 85 players. A team can also hypothetically offer a number of non-scholarship players an in-house NIL deal that pays their tuition. So they could creatively go over the scholarship minimum anyway if the conference sets a cap. So these are things that coaches point that we don't even know what the conferences are going to do. Not just the teams, and those are things.
I got money on what the SWAC gonna do.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. But to Coach's point is that it's something that's not even in his control, because if the conference goes one way and says we're going to do this, and Prairie View say, well, we're going to go the other way, there could be a conflict. So again, I just wanted to read that because that is a really big thing, Coach, that you're talking about. I just want to give people a little bit background perspective on that.
I appreciate it.
Based on what you just read, Bishop, it seems like you can set the limit at 63, but if you got the money, you can go all the way up to fully funded 105. So your conference can set the limit wherever it wants to. But if your money is right, you can have as many players as you want all the way up to 105. So that's why you saying what you simply saying, Coach, Prairie View need a war chest. You need a war chest.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's a lot of uncertainty.
Well, they got an alumni base, man.
They got the bread.
Again, I've been around 40 years, and I know, Bishop, you've been around just as long. Even when they were at their lowest low, their fans still came out because they love the university. You know what I mean? And they support the university, win, lose, or draw. You know, I think, and I know you know the history now, Coach Jackson. I know you don't study the history. And they used to have a coach named Coach Nixon. The last consistent winning coach. And that had to be how many years ago?
60s.
And they still, came out to support the head coach. And I think, every time those coaches come around, every 50, 40, 30 years in coach, I think you that guy. And I'm telling the Prairie View fans that you that guy and that this is a keeper. And you guys gonna have to. Hey, it's just like the Wizard of Oz when the house fell on the wicked witch, and then all the monkeys start coming out. Well, we need you to come out, Prairie View, and this man got a plan, and he got a plan for your money, to be able to come out. Coach, let's pivot for a minute, to talk about these celebrity coaches. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad we kind of let you talk. And I thought that my staff, and you said it, you took the words out of my mouth, that when you work around good people, and you learned your philosophy, you took a piece from me, you took a piece from LC, you took a piece from Kevin Ramsey, you took a piece from Melvin Spears. You were around some good guys, as well as then when you start moving in your career, of course, you got around. How important is that to you as a head coach? Or how important is that to just a head coach, period, that you think, or do you think these cats can come in and sit in that seat where you sitting in today and knowing what you know, that you just think that somebody can sell that to you?
Yeah, I think the experiences matter. And the people that you get to sit back and learn from and it not be on your record matters. And I'll just be honest, man. I like you said, I got a chance to sit in the room where you were at the head of the table. Melvin Spears was on one side, Kevin Ramsey on the other side. LC was there before Kevin Ramsey was there. Man, and just really hear the stories, but also be put in situations where guys are pouring into you and telling you what you can do better than what they did. LC used to sit there and tell me, I got involved with compliance because of LC Cole. Because he was like, hell, Jack, don't let nobody tell you what's going on in compliance. You need to make sure you know for yourself. All right, I'll go do compliance. And so I think those experiences matter. And I just got so much respect for the chair until I do think that you have to be ready for the chair. Now, I'm not saying that those guys aren't ready for the chair. I just know for me, my experiences, my upbringing in the profession, and 14 years of back and forth and round the block and living in these different places and dealing with different types of players, it really helped me. It really helped. And being around different types of coaches, it really helped me in all areas of my career. When I was a defensive coordinator, it helped me. When I was just a position coach, it helped me. And obviously now sitting here as a head football coach, the last 5 going into 6 years, it definitely helped me. And I think those things matter. And I think if you skip that step, then you have to learn on the job per se, because nobody's really ready until you get in the seat. But at least you have an idea if you've had those experiences. If not, you got to really strap up and be ready to go. And I'll tell you, the biggest thing about being a head coach is having good coaches. Like having people around you at that table that are doing their job at a high level. It's nothing like it. I thought I was a good football coach. I thought I could scheme with the best of them. But, man, when I really realized what it was really about and why we were winning, I realized that sometimes, man, I'm not even there when those coaches are putting together that plan on either side of the ball. And so it really made me – I think I haven't gotten a lot of things right, but I've hired well. If you look at the coaches that I've hired and where they went on to, man, my first OC at Valdosta State is the OC at Western Kentucky right now. He had never called plays before. And, man, we met in a coffee shop in San Antonio at the convention, and he had a plan, and he had a vision. He was going to work it. And so, man, I've been blessed. My last OC at Valdosta State, he got the job at Valdosta State. He's 32 years old. He had one of the top offenses in the country. My OC now is very talented. My defensive coordinator has had multiple opportunities to leave, and he hadn't left. He just likes being with me. I can't get rid of him. And so it's one of those deals, man, where I've hired well, but I've learned how to hire based on watching coaches that I've worked with. People don't know this about Coach Cole, and he ain't going to say this. In 2010, the hobo was the hobo, but we had some issues. And Coach Cole started running the football at a high level, and we started calling it the whole row because we wasn't throwing the ball down the field because we just had some issues. We started running the football, and he put it in the defensive's hands. Now, this is Johnnie Cole at Texas Southern, the former quarterback, who is here to save the program, and I watched him be very humble in the situation, put his pride and ego aside in order to win. I wouldn't have had that experience if I wasn't there. I wouldn't have seen that. And we had the number one defense in the country, and he celebrated it. He wasn't mad like some of them guys. He celebrated. He celebrated. And I use a line today that Coach said in the meeting when he made the decision, because it took him a while. And I get it. Now that I get it. But, man, he was like, shoot, Coach, man, if we win the championship, they're going to pour water on me anyway. And it was a funny statement, but it was true. And what he basically was saying was, man, it don't have to be about the hobo. It's about winning. And however we got to win this year, this is the way we'll win. Maybe it'll turn in the future. And man, I think seeing that really helped me, because we changed defenses at Valdosta State, and everybody knows Tremaine Jackson like 4D lineman. It ain't no secret.
That's right.
And we were able to mix it up, man, and do some different things. But I had to swallow that and put that aside, and I referenced that moment. And we ended up winning 25 games in 2 years.
You mean to tell me you gave up 210, baby?
No, we still 212. We
212.
still 212. But we just do it a little. We get to it differently now.
Yeah. That's important. That's important.
Hey.
Man, you so where you think, Coach, that you're coming into the SWAC? You know, you're a SWAC guy. Where do you think that the SWAC is of a whole? You know, and see, people don't know, Jack. You know, we of course, you know, we went through all, you know, our stuff, but we talk and we've always used to keep up with the SWAC teams. Mm-hmm. Where do you think we are? I mean, you were there with some greats: Pete Richardson, Broadway, Jones, you know, LC. I mean, you were there with some great coaches. Not saying the ones we have are not, but they're coming. You know, a lot of them are coming in and being first-time head coaches. Where do you think the conference is at, you know, from your perspective?
I think the conference is still as talented as it's ever been. I think also the turnover in the conference, you know, the quarterback play was down this past year. I think that had a lot to do with the turnover of head coaches in the conference. Got a guy like Willie Simmons, who's known for offense, leaving. You know, the guard changed there. You just look at it as a whole. The quarterback play was down, but the skill level is still as talented as it's ever been, in my opinion, because of the amount of transfer guys that are coming into the league that now want the HBCU experience, right? And so people have access to just better players because they want to be there. But I also think that us as a conference, we have to continue to find ways to be better. And we have to continue to find ways to grow and make sure our product is of one of those that is the best in the country. And somebody mentioned earlier in the comments, why is he dissing being black? I'm not dissing being black. I want to make sure us as black people show that we can compete everywhere, not just amongst ourselves. So I'm not dissing being black. And if you know me, it don't get no blacker than me. I'm from Acres Homes, Texas. You can't fake being black in Acres Home, Texas. And so, but I do believe that we're very smart. We're very talented people. And we need to stop putting ourselves in a box and go compete against everybody instead of just caring about when we play each other. And I'm not telling us not to care about it, but we need to be able to compete nationally. Because the first question you asked me was, why do we struggle against PWIs? Well, we struggle against PWIs because we don't really care about those games. We care more about the games against each other. We need to care about all the games. Right. And I think people fought, bled, and died for us to be competitive and have a voice in our country, not just in our neighborhood. And so we got to be ready for that. But I think our conference has to continue to find ways to be better. I'd like to see us play on more TV and not just the stream television, because I think our product is that. I'd like to see us bring back the Thursday night games that was going on every Thursday, like when we were there before. And I think there's a lot of value in putting our product on TV. I don't think anybody would be against playing on a Wednesday night like some of these Conference USA games. Yeah. I wouldn't. An opportunity to put our stadium on national TV, man, I think we got to look into all options, because now we're at a point to where all options are on the table. Yeah. And so nobody wants to play on a Saturday night in Panther Stadium more than me. Nobody. But I think if we got a chance to play on regular ESPN and play Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, we need to take a look at that. All those are things that I know our conference wants to do. And I'm looking forward to us getting to the table to see what it is that they have to do.
Hey, Coach,
go ahead.
I was just going to ask Coach this question. Because you were a D2 coach. There's two things I want to ask. You can answer them however you want to order them. One is, can you explain the success of D2 players at the FCS level versus FBS players coming down to the FCS level? Meaning that in my short time of viewing HBCU football, the D2 players, in a lot of cases, have been wildly successful at the FCS level, coming from D2. That's one. You deal with that because they may be related. The other question is, the D2 coaches, up until recently, weren't being given jobs, opportunities to elevate from D2 to FCS on the HBCU level, right? They were just doing the whole circle jerk around each other. Mm-hmm. With guys like you and Sam Shade, and even a guy that didn't get hired this year, Teddy Keaton, who had a lot of success at Clark, do you think that's, with you and Sam's success, a guy like Teddy might get an opportunity to come up to this level?
Yeah, I think guys like Chennis Berry helped that. I think guys, Chennis Berry came from Benedict, went to South Carolina State, won immediately. Well, when you see where he took the program at Benedict from and where he ended up, I was in the same region as him. So I saw it for myself on tape week in and week out. I think that helped the situation. You know, Coach Shade always had a really good product at Miles. We played him twice in my time there. And so we were able to see it glow and grow, as they say, man. We were able to see that. And then, you know, guys like me, man, I'm just a guy happy to be here with a plan, right? And so hopefully we get a chance to help move the needle. But I think Division II coaches coming up to the SWAC, to the MEAC, to any FCS program, they really know what it is to do, because you have to be very unique in how you scholarship in Division II. And I think a lot of guys struggle on this level and don't know how to maneuver in that space. And so when you go from the FBS to the FCS, where things are different, and maybe you had a lot of things done for you in the FBS, you got to kind of get it out the mud. And in Division II, man, you're getting it out the mud. So it's very comfortable for me to walk over and check class. It's very comfortable for me to be running study hall. Now, I don't have to do that here at Prairie View. I don't have to do any of that, but that's comfortable for me. And so when you come from that Power 5, you don't know, a lot of times you don't know the first thing about that type of stuff. And so it takes you a year or two to learn even how things work. And so while you can't even get to the football, because you're still getting hit with financial aid and all the things that you never had to deal with. And so I think there's a little bit more to it. When you look at the success of Henry Frazier coming up from Bowie State to Prairie View A&M, he had a lot of success. Coach Cole came from Lane, where he was lining the field and came into the league and had a lot of success. I think that level of success in the history of it is just better than guys coming down.
What you think about Teddy? What you think about Teddy Keaton at Clark?
Yeah, I think coaches. I thought he was going to be in this class, honestly, because I think he does a really good job. Obviously I was in Georgia, got a chance to watch them play a couple of times. Saw him play against Miles when we broke down Miles. I think Teddy has always had an explosive offense, and LC over there blitzing from the heel. And so, I start calling out pressures when we watch them play.
They matter of fact, they play on the first game of the year, Clark and Valdosta.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Are they playing in that classic game?
Yeah.
I knew Miles had left the classic game. So, I think that Coach Keaton is up next. He's always done a really good job of representing wherever he's been on the national committees, on the rules committee, coaches connection, things where we normally are not as Black coaches, let alone guys in HBCUs. And so I think he's got what it takes to be next, and look forward to seeing where he's going to be.
Well, let me say this, Coach Jack. I'm getting these Panthers. Look, Jack, the only thing I told him, I said, look, I'm going to get to Jack, but I ain't wearing no PV shirt now. I ain't going to put no TC shirt. Tell TJ no worries. The Panther backers got you, and I'm sending $100 tonight. All right? I got another one. You can tell your homegirl with the PV on the track team. She would definitely be on the board to get us to the next level. He has a lot of respect for you. I love how he talks about, and I'm in love with him already. So, man, look, hey, man, you, and I tell people you got what it takes, and you're gonna move this program where it needs to go. Coach, are you bringing players from Valdosta State with you? How many have you brought? Are you, or did you like, hey guys, I'm headed out. How's that coming?
No, we brought a couple with us. Like my grandma used to say, there's always a ram in the bush, and so we brought a couple with us. I'll tell you this funny story right quick, Coach, because we talk about loving our players, and we all in there crying, and Coach, I love you. I wherever you go, I'll go. And so we offered a couple of them, and then they start getting Michigan State. They start getting James Madison. They start getting some of the bigger schools, West Virginia, and them NIL deals start coming out. and then I ain't hear from nobody. It went crickets on me. I said, well, damn, I thought you loved me. He said, Coach, man, I love you, but man, that's big time ball. I said, man, you gotta go. You gotta go. And again, just the time that we in, we have really good players at Valdosta State that we were able to assemble and acquire over time. But man, we brought a couple, but we brought the right couple. I learned something when I went from Mesa to Valdosta State. And I had brought 12 players with us from Mesa to Valdosta State. And those guys, a lot of them were all conference out there out west, but they didn't do anything at Valdosta State. And for one reason or another. And so what I learned is just because you could play for us over there, don't necessarily translate to you being able to play for us over here. And so we had to find the right guys that could play for us over here. And that's not just on the field, that's in the culture, in the locker room, making sure guys handle their business in the classroom. And so we think we found the right couple of guys to do that are helping us with the culture in the locker room because they've been through dog training before. They know what it's like. They don't want to do it.
So you had some mid-semester transfers already?
Oh yeah, because you gotta bring them at mid-year for them to have a chance. You gotta let them get acclimated to this Houston heat. It's February the 4th. And I was out there in shorts and a t-shirt today, and somebody had on some flip-flop as I was getting some lunch. It ain't like this everywhere, and so we wanted to bring them out here and get them ready to go. But we got some.
Do we got a quarterback, or are we still?
We're waiting. We're waiting on the quarterback to show us that they can win the team and not turn the ball over. That's who's going to be the quarterback of Prairie View A&M Panthers. The guy that can win the football team and the guy that can take care of the football.
Do we have somebody coming from outside?
Yeah, we got 5 quarterbacks on the roster.
Okay.
All of them are Division I transfers.
Okay.
And so we'll find out.
Do they have any film, Coach?
Yeah, they got film. They got film. Here's what I learned about y'all's show. Coaches be watching. I ain't giving up many things on here. I ain't giving up. They're going to have to work to get these names.
Coach, you sound like the coach from Nebraska now, so that's why that's what it is, Coach. You're not having that spring game because you don't want to see your players. That's
on a Thursday. If you want to come watch us play, you're going to come on a Thursday.
You're going to have to take off work.
Yeah, you're going to miss something in this deal.
Yeah. Now, Coach, are you having open practice, or if I'm an alumnus and I want to, be able to come in and donate money to you, have you set up that type of situation? I know you got Coach Colbert kind of running your operations.
Yep.
You got to get your development fund, program. Have you had time to set all that up yet?
Yeah, that's kind of what's going to launch tomorrow. Practices are open to former players, high school coaches, and generous donors. That's who practices are open to. And so,
what about media members, Coach?
Yeah, you go through Coach Colbert. Coach Colbert he'll assign the media passes. But no, if any one of those people want to come to practice, they just need to reach out to Coach Colbert and set it up. We'll put something out there on social media. We love having people at practice. People always get nervous about people spying. Half the people that come to practice don't even know what's going on. They just go, and some of them will go back and hype the program up, and you think you had a bad day, and they around here talking about how good you're going to be. And so we certainly want our alums, our football alums, to always have an open door at our place. And got a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame, a lot of guys that have done some things for our program. We got an football alumni association that they're doing great things for our players. So they're always welcome. Generous donors, always welcome. You come sit in my house and watch the tape with me if you're generous enough. And so we can be bought. The tape can be bought.
Hey, let me give you this. Let me get an email. It's Dr. Colbert, DrColbert at pvamu.edu. If you want to come out and set up, meet with Coach Jackson, that's DrColbert at pvamu.edu. I just want to put that out there.
Hey, Coach, now let me ask you this. This guy's all over social media right here, Coach. Be careful about him. You see his name, PV versus everybody? Coach,
My boy.
He had everybody hating PV, man. He printed out championship shirts. He did everything. Oh, Coach, I'm telling you. Hey, this guy right here, tell him don't print no championship shirts out. That jinked us, man. That jinked on Prairie View, man.
And look, Coach Bishop over there quiet. His cousin there was talking about SWAC championship the first part of the year. And Coach, it was over about 4 weeks in the season, wasn't it, Coach?
No, hold on now. Wait a minute now. We were already good until we got to Jackson State. And then we okay. But Coach, listen, I'm gonna give you something. Because you're coming into a program, you know, everybody has the expectation. But what I'm going to say, and I'm saying this with a lot of respect, I am so impressed with you because I see the passion. I see that you care about yourself and your players. And, man, I think that you're just going to be super – the SWAC needs good coaches. See, like I said, me and Coach – listen, man, I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi. I saw the W.C. Gordons. I saw the Pete Richards. I saw Archie Cooley Gunslingers. I saw Marino Castle. I saw Eddie Robinson. I saw Houston Mark. Those made the SWAC. And when you got great coaches, that means you're going to create great players. And the way we beat as they say, the PWIs, you got to coach first, but you also got to coach them up to be able to beat them. So I'm super excited for what you do. And I'm going to say one last thing is that coaches already told you, y'all can sponsor that training table. You put your name on the training table. You can sponsor that film and you can sponsor anything else because Coach said he's open for business. So, Coach, I'm really impressed. Now, Coach, one other thing, too, I got to make a joke. Now, Coach Cole is a Kappa, and I think you are a man of Omega Psi Phi. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, listen. Now, you know, there's a lot of rivalry right there now. There's a lot of rivalry. So I'm going to put it out there to those PV Kappas. Y'all got to raise more money than them PVQs. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to put it out there, Coach.
Yep.
That's right.
And our AD is a Kappa.
See, there you go.
Right.
So I'm going to put the challenge out there because, listen, we don't need no stomping and cage roll. We need money spent. You see what I'm saying? So, Coach, I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to put up some $35. Coach, I know $35 don't get me on the field. Maybe give me in the parking lot. But I'm going to put up $35. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
I'll wait for the parking lot.
Hey, I tell you, Coach, what we want to do, which is when y'all get your thing together, maybe we could bring you back on right before spring ball, and you'll have all the information together how people can buy season tickets and donate that $35. I'm gonna definitely donate my $35. I know Rocky, he does it all the time. Of course, Coach Campbell is the fundraising guy on our staff. So you want to go through these games real quick, Coach?
Yeah.
Coach. We'll get started off with the elephant in the room. Coach, you got to get this one done, Coach. Coach. Hey, you probably shouldn't unbox your stuff, Coach, until you get this one done.
This is Danny Wilson, and I won $500 on the lunch break with AJ Jones.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.